Thank you for joining us on the Time podcast today. Before we get started with the actual interview, I'd like to give some background information about today's guest, who is Emily Warbrick. Emily's based in Brisbane and has started her travel industry career in 2002, following her father's footsteps, who was the founder of Travel World. Now, having grown up in travel, she has developed her passion for travel, predominantly snow travel, early on, and was determined to run the family business Snowscene, which she's very proud to do today. As the general manager of Snowscene and the co-business owner of Snowscene retail store, which opened in 2014, Emily's enjoying the challenges, the lessons, and the happiness that being a business brings. Now, Snowscene is very renowned for their passion, their enthusiasm, and expertise for all things snow. So I hope it's still okay now to say a very warm welcome to Emily. Welcome back to the Time Vlog. Today, as I have mentioned in my little intro, I have Emily with me from Queensland. A very warm welcome, Emily. Welcome on the show.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me.
No, absolutely delight. I hear a bit of clapping in the background. Do you have a studio audience at your home?
I have a baby cheerleader in a bouncer at my left foot.
Oh.
Sterling's 6 months old. So yeah, that's the clapping.
The joys of multitasking.
Yes, working mum.
Working mom. Yeah, well, thanks for still being here, and it's very great to see that you give us the opportunity to learn more about you and your thoughts around the Time program and community, because that's what we're here for, obviously, today. Emily, we always have a little icebreaker session, which is a session for our audience to get to know you from a point that is not reflected on LinkedIn and probably also not reflected on your CV. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fantastic. So I just give you two choices, and you just give me one choice back, whatever your preference is. And we do start with something very, very simple.
Okay.
Sofa or half marathon?
I wish I could say half marathon, but I'm not a runner. Sofa.
Disney or Marvel?
Disney.
Board games or dance floor?
Dance floor.
And last but not least, your favorite travel destination and why?
I'm a little bit biased because I'm a skier, but Aspen, Colorado, USA.
Awesome.
And why? Why? It's one of the most magical places I've ever been to. The magic of the snow, the upgrade vibe, the dance floor, all of that encompassing in one.
Oh, just missing the Disney movie Frozen, and we have it all together.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that, Emily. Let's actually go into the questions around the Time community. So you're actually one of the state representatives for Time in Queensland. Emily, I'd like to know, why did you actually take on the role to volunteer for the Time?
I graduated from the program in 2012, and I'm not yet professionally at the level of the astute mentor. I felt it was a way I could give back to the community in Queensland and also get Queensland on the map for Time. So we brought Time to Queensland in 2017, and it's been a great journey since. So joining the Queensland committee is Lisa Davis from Central Queensland, and she's going to help branch Time into central and regional Queensland. And I'm focusing on the city side of the development of the Queensland program.
Okay, that's a great plan. And if you think back about 2017, I would assume it's probably not easy to rock up and say, hey, we now have Time in Queensland, don't you want to join, or are you interested? What were some of the obstacles and hurdles you had to overcome back in the days?
It was more about awareness to the program, the value of mentoring, but certainly Time wasn't known then in Brisbane. We've had a really good uptake and continuity of our programs and our networking here in Brisbane and Queensland as a whole, but does take time, and it still does take time to get that awareness in the Sunshine State. So definitely frequency of networking, building our mentees and our mentors. So then our network, we've achieved some really great reach over the last few.
So Emily, you spoke a little bit about networking and being constantly in contact with people in the community. How does time actually assist the local travel industry?
It's been great to offer a career development tool to up and coming travel professionals in Queensland and Brisbane. It's
Mm,
certainly not anything we had in the Brisbane space. There are networking groups and membership based groups like Skull. However, we were finding the up and coming professional, not necessarily age based, but certainly a younger professional, didn't have that formal mentoring program that Time provides. And it was
mm.
great to also have a fresh new product to offer Queensland, because what I found from my personal observation was we weren't as focused on professional development and networking. It wasn't
Mm.
as popular within the industry outside of the reps. There's a lot going on for travel reps in Brisbane.
You have you've done the program yourself, right? You've been a mentee before,
Yes,
and when was that?
I did the program in 2012,
Hmm.
and what I got out of the program was, one, it was the instrumentally best thing I've done for my career. And by sharing that with other professionals in travel, hearing about my first-hand experience has been the best uptake we've seen for for new mentees coming on the program.
Are the mentees today compared to when you started are equally excited, or has something changed in regards to the expectation of the program? If that makes sense.
Yeah, today's mentees more than ever need a mentor, especially the last 18 months that the travel industry has faced. And the mentees currently on the program for Queensland that I recently met at our July networking event are finding that that's the guiding light and paving the way forward to help with clarity in the future. So having a mentor now is more important than ever. And I know I've been drawing on my relationships through my mentor in the program,
Mm.
still having that relationship today as a graduate.
Mm. And how has the work from the time community and being able to do networking or not do networking, how has that changed since the pandemic started?
I like to refer to it as my A team. So, not only by graduating from Time have I developed a lifelong friend and mentor in Penny Spencer, I've also developed a Time network from other mentors on the program. And that what forms my A part of my A team for my business professional life, everybody is connected somehow through Time. And I recently did this exercise through the pandemic when I was seeing the different areas of skills I needed to survive and get through. It was at least 3 to 4 other mentors that I've developed relationships with from continually networking and building
Mm.
those relationships. And that forms my professional A team I've got today. And that could move me into other roles in business, that could move me into other businesses if I wanted to. And it's the mentors giving their time and experience, checking in to not only who was not necessarily their mentee, but it is just purely because I'm a graduate of the program.
Mm. What's the best way for someone who's in Queensland right now and wants to join as a mentee?
Reaching out to other graduates like myself or current mentees to learn about first-hand experiences, attending events, because we did hold an event in July and we will be holding another event in October, attending virtual events. There's a graduation coming up on the 8th of September, attending those virtual events to see what Time is all about, applying for scholarships, and also just following Time on the social channels to learn more about the program. But you've really got to put yourself out there, and there's no better time to apply than now to guide us in the new space of which travel will be and is.
Last but not least, my absolute favorite question, Emily, and it is a difficult one. Something you bought in the last 6 months for less than $100 that has influenced your life most positively.
I want to answer it well. Essential oils,
Hmm.
a grounding blend to help keep me calm rather than turning to wine.
I love that answer.
Because
Do you wanna share what the blend consists of?
I don't know what the blend is, but it's called a grounding blend or balance. And I simply just inhale that, few deep breaths, ground myself if I'm feeling stressed, rather than thinking, bring on 5 o'clock, bring on a vino.
That's amazing. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Emily, I'll let you go. I really appreciate your time today. And I know you're very busy running a business and having a baby around you. And I actually appreciate it because I would assume that was your baby's first podcast as well.
Thanks, Tim. Yes, it was.
Awesome. Please remind please remind him a few years after I was the first host of his podcast career. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it, and hopefully see you soon in person.
Thanks for having me. See you, Tim.